What's up, everybody? Hope you all had a great day. Getting into this episode of GH, Liz. Oh my lord, Elizabeth Imogene Weber. I was so tight when she called Scott over there because I was happy when she did at first, but I'm like, she was so evasive with him. I'm like, ma'am, answer the damn questions. Like, tell this man what the hell is going on. She needed to give him blow by blow details about this crime. She was being very evasive. Oh, I stumbled upon a crime um that was happening, but it's no longer ongoing, and a few people know about it, and yes, it could come to light. Okay, so how the hell is he supposed to help you with that limited ass information? Hey, ma'am, he wants to know the who, the what, the why, the when. She wasn't telling him none of that shit. I'm like, so how is he supposed to represent you if you turn yourself in? Like, you're not telling him nothing. What the hell was the point of calling a lawyer? You need to give him blow by blow details. So Ava comes over there and Scott was like, listen, don't talk to nobody about this. He was like, because this is a legal matter at this point, don't talk to nobody. So he left. Ava's slick. I feel like on some level she came near because she does on some level actually cares what happened to Elizabeth. But this was pure damage control. That's all this was. That's the only reason Ava came over there, to do damage control. She wanted to try and talk Liz out of going to the police so that way they didn't have a reason to come to Windermere. Because once she talked to the cops and say, oh, well, Esme was at Windermere, that's going to bring the cops to Windermere searching around. That's the last thing Ava needs right now. She don't need the cops sniffing around there. You know what I mean? So she was doing everything in her power to try to talk her out of doing it. And, Liz was curious. She was like, why you care about what happens to me? And Ava tried to play it off, talking about, oh, I don't care. She was like, I mean, if you want to blow your life up, shit, it's your life to destroy. She was like, but I don't see why you would. She was like, what about your kids? Like, you gonna blow up people's lives that care about you, because this is gonna affect all of them too. And she was like, Nicholas pretty much left town, so if he left town, you're gonna be the only one charged with all this stuff. He's not gonna pay, you will. She was laying it on thick, trying to convince her to not let Nicholas destroy her life. You know what I mean? Like, laying it on heavy. Ava was manipulative as shit, and I think it's starting to work. I think Liz was definitely hearing what she was saying. Ava handled it. That was like some masterclass shit the way Ava handled that mess. But Ava still got more damage control to do because she's not convinced that this is gonna work. You know what I'm saying? That Liz is not gonna grow another conscience and really turn herself in. So of course, after she left, she had to call Austin like, "Yo, we need to meet up. We got a problem." Um, so Liz brought Finn up to speed about what was going on and Nicholas leaving town and whatnot. Um, so anyway, moving on from that, you know, Obrecht wanted to know what the hell was going on with Elizabeth from Finn because she felt like she could help. And I was kind of shocked by that. I said, you want to help Elizabeth? But, she kind of broke it down that it's, because of Scott and stuff, they're family to him, so she want to help. And she feel like whatever trouble Liz is in, she has the skill set to get her out of it. I'm like, yes and no. I mean, this is more of a legal matter. I don't see how Obrecht can help her out of this. But as much as Obrecht claims she wants to help due to Scott and stuff, I also feel like that's her ulterior motive because she wasn't too happy about Scott running off to go deal with Elizabeth and her problems. She wasn't too keen on that. So I feel like the only reason she want to help get Liz out of this because she wants to expedite that process so that way she could get Scott to herself again. I can't say I blame her. I can't say I blame her on that, but it's like it's more complicated than she even realized. So Scott came back or whatever to the hospital and he was not happy to see Finn because Scott doesn't know the full details. Again, Liz didn't tell him everything. So he's still mad at Finn for breaking up with Liz or whatever because Finn wanted an update about what's going to happen with Liz. And he was like, oh, that's none of your concern. Giving him the cold shoulder. So I like the way Finn handled it. Finn was like, all right, y'all have a good day. Finn was like, I'm going to leave. Y'all have a good one. Um, Liz just need to go ahead and tell this man everything, just in case. I mean, he is your lawyer, so just in case the cops do find out about something or whatever, your lawyer knows how to talk to him and get you out of this mess. You know. So anyway, moving on from that. So Willow got more bad news. So they weren't able to harvest enough stem cells. So they can't do the transplant. So now they have to go back to the bone marrow thing. They need a donor now. Um and Willow pretty much only has weeks to live at this point. I mean, they can try to prolong it a little longer, but it ain't looking good for her. Can I be honest with y'all? Like, I'm gonna be as frank as I possibly can. I'm sick of this storyline. Like, I'm over the Willow shit. I'm tired of it. I'm ready for it to be done. Honestly, at this point, I wouldn't shed a tear if that character died. I mean, I love the actress. I love her. I think she's a sweetheart. I follow her on Instagram. I think she's a sweet person. And it's no knock to her. It's just this character for me just ain't working right now. And I'm over it. It's like Willow done did too many stupid things for me to want to sit here and root for her ass. I'm just saying you might as well go on to the upper room at this point. You need to go meet Jesus because I done had enough. Like, all these stupid decisions she done made is the reason she has stage 4 and you have limited time on this earth right now. I'm like, it was all because of your foolish ways. Um, should have got treatment from the beginning. I mean, I understand she was trying to, protect the child and whatnot, but, you still had a child here on earth that still needs you, and now both your kids may grow up without you. So of course, she told Michael to leave the room or whatever so she could have a moment alone. And she just broke down in tears thinking about the good times and all that. So Austin is trying to be preemptive. He's thinking about, the future, like her care and stuff like that, because he basically put that out there to Terry, like he doesn't want her to feel no pain in her last few weeks. And Terry was at the point where she was just like, yeah, I don't think now's the time to talk to them about that. um just let them digest this information that they just gave them. She was like, we don't need to bring up that. um so Michael went back into the room and whatnot, and she pretty much was like, oh, I want to talk to you about life without me. I'm like, girl, now is not the time to have that type of conversation. I mean, I understand she's on borrowed time, but it's like, why do you want to discuss with him life without you? Like, what are you trying to do? Give him your blessing to move on? I mean, he gonna do that regardless, but ma'am, you expect him to be single forever? I mean, if you do perish, I mean, I'm pretty sure he'll have another one within a month. You know how daytime TV do. I mean, shit, look at Days of Our Lives. Chad done moved on like that. So I wouldn't think nothing of it with Michael. He'll probably have a new broad within before summer, I'm sure, before spring. Um, but that would be crazy if this girl died though, because I'm like, that would be another woman of Michael's that done perished and left this earth. I'm like, damn, he like the Grim Reaper of love. Damn near every woman he done been with done died except for Star Manning, Sasha. I think those are the only two that survived after being with him. I'm like, damn. Um, just the Grim Reaper of love, man. This is crazy. But yeah, I mean, she did it to herself. She should have made better decisions, for her care. So anyway, moving on from that, Nina's all frantic and stuff because she feels like, she tired of waiting. She want to know what the hell going on and what the next steps are. So Donna came or whatever because the nanny done dropped Donna off or whatever. And Donna is such a cutie. She got dimples just like Sonny. I noticed that. I said, she got dimples. Ain't that something? I swear, when that little girl grow up, she gonna be probably the female Sonny. Cause once she flash them dimples, she gonna have people wrapped around her little finger. Um, so they were showing her off to the nursery and stuff to see her new niece and whatnot. Um, I can't believe she got a niece. Y'all gonna be playmates. That's gonna be crazy. Um, but that was such a cute scene. And then Carly, walked up or whatever. And I love the scene where Donna, came up to Carly and asked why she was sad or whatever, or came up to her. So, Carly informed Sonny what was going on, that they didn't get good news about Willow. Nina, what annoyed me with Nina was I felt she was making that situation about her. That's just something that annoyed me with Nina though, because she was like, "Oh, if I would have made better choices, maybe this is payback because I made bad decisions." I'm like, that's not, stop making this about you. Like, it's not about you, Nina. At the end of the day, you can't rationalize why this is happening. It happens to everybody. It happens to people who made good choices all their lives. It happens to people who make bad choices. It happens to black people. It happens to white people. It happens to Hispanics, Chinese, Asian, whatever. It does not matter. Leukemia happens to all people. No matter what path you took in life, leukemia can happen to you. It can happen to me. God forbid. It can happen to you. God forbid. It can happen to anybody. God forbid. It can happen. Cancer happens. I mean, what are you gonna do? We right now we can't prevent the shit. It can happen. She needs to stop trying to rationalize it. It's like, it doesn't matter what decisions you made in life. It has nothing to do with you. It's not happening to you. Even if it was happening to you directly, it's not because of whatever decision you made in life. You know what I'm saying? It's not because of that. You know what I mean? And Sonny had to tell her, he was like, well, shit, I made bad choices in my life too. I mean, he said, but you can't think like that. I'm like, because you can't. You could think like that, but you're going to drive yourself crazy thinking like that. You know? I mean, I couldn't imagine being a parent and your child is going through something that you can't fix, especially when you got millions of dollars at your disposal. That makes it even worse, Like, you got all the resources at your disposal and you still can't stop this from happening. So, she just got to think positive on it. Hopefully you get a better turnout and they could, a miracle can happen, maybe. Who knows? I do love the fact that Obrecht stepped up to the plate. Obrecht went to Tyrion and was like, listen, let me go get tested to see if I'm a donor for Willow. I love that. You know what I mean? Because it would be crazy if she turned out to be a donor match. I'd still think somebody in the family got to be. You know what I'm saying? Nina's not it. Maybe one of the kids are. Maybe Wiley. I don't think they ever thought about testing him, but maybe. Could be him. Who knows? So anyway, moving on from that. Gregory pretty much had to turn Alexa's job offer down because he was like, oh, it's the middle of the semester and he still likes teaching. But I feel like teaching is not bringing him any passion like it used to. I think his passion is definitely being a journalist. I think he lights up at the thought of it. I could respect the fact he want to stay loyal to the university and whatnot. He don't want to just leave them in a lurch in the middle of the semester. Plus, he was like, his retirement is coming up soon, so he wants to continue doing what he's doing until then. So Alexis was like, well, shit, do both. Because at first she thought he was scared to change. You know what I'm saying? Scared to try something new. And, she was like, talk to the chair of your department or whatever at the college and see if they could work around it. See if you could do both without any issues. You get the best of both worlds. You still get to teach and you get to be a journalist. Something that gets the blood pumping. Something that, makes you happy still. I agree. If you could do both, do both. A lot of us have that. A lot of us have full-time jobs or careers that we like or whatever the case. And we got other things that we love too that can make you some money too. You know what I'm saying? So if you can pull off doing both, pull off both. You ain't always got to sacrifice one for the other. It's not always that. So anyway, that was pretty much the whole episode. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you all thought. And I will see you all later. Peace.